Good morning. If you're continuing to have problems with your computer, please contact the help desk and or know that you can download certain apps from the library for free. Thanks to those who have contacted me should they run across problems. By alerting me to such issues, you make this course flow better. Also know that this week I will be opening the text discussion blog's content area for each of the 3 texts for the class. In addition, I'll be posting the critical review criteria as well. You'll have to commit to which book you'll read and write on it. Go ahead and check out the plethora of posts in the Lennox Lounge, and always know that you can post anything you think relevant to our studies this semester. Please make sure that you check the Grade Center weekly at least. Every other day would be even better. It's also very important that you do this, as I usually try to make my comments on both your initial posts as well as include my commentary with the grade score. Now for congratulations, as you've made it through our first module, Mama Africa, and we are transitioning to our second module, American Revolution. I am firmly aware that our foundational material can be very heady and emotionally charged, and we are not in the same we are not in the same room with each other to discuss these things. This is definitely one of the drawbacks of online instruction, at least in my estimation. I'm trying to be optimistic that you are working through all this material and that you are absorbing it well on your own. In a face-to-face environment, we can usually see each other's faces, body language, hear each other's voices and tones, and more, which can help in facilitating better discussions. However, in this online environment, we have to develop ways to still have great discussions about such themes, topics, without the advantage of physically being with each other. If there's anything that you'd like to discuss, question, and or contest, please do so. We can either do this in the Lennox Lounge or in any of the module-related activities. I pride myself on assuring my students that they can totally disagree with my assertions as long as they can historically support their assertions and still get an A in the course. I was really intrigued with your foundational work. Hopefully you read all your classmates' entries so that you get a fuller picture as well. This is why it's crucial that you at least peruse your classmates' posts. Relative to the question I posed and answers read, I would like to draw your attention to the Lennox Lounge entries on Bishop Bartolome de las Casas. The bishop basically argued against the enslavement of the indigenous, also known as Indians, and suggested that Africans be selected as the optimal slave for the transatlantic slave system. While he regretted the suggestion and recanted it on his deathbed, the damage had been done. This is a primary document that historians can refer to. Many of the other reasons that you put forth were valid as well, and I was very pleased to see them posted. As far as the Irish scenario, I wanted to make sure that you were aware that Irish slavery and indentured servitude was attempted, however it did not work out. I also want to make you aware that white supremacy groups have used this in an ahistorical fashion. I've even had pro-Irish memes put on my Facebook wall by Irish relatives. Then I have to address such ahistorical assertions that lend themselves to white supremacy. It is important to be aware of these historical nuances and or controversies. Also relative to last week's course week on skin color, it's important to at least contemplate which came first, chattel slavery or racism, aka ethnic chauvinism against Africans. I have my own opinion on this, as I'm sure you do. You can probably glean from the way that I presented the information which school of thought I fall into on this historical question. Just like I said with regard to creationism versus evolution issue, you can believe that slavery already existed first, then came racism, or they occurred simultaneously like other colleagues have, but you just have to make sure that you can historically back up your argument. My question would be to you, if skin color ethnic chauvinism does not come first, then why do we have white or European hegemonic legacies that continue to rage today? Band-aids, makeup, cosmetic and hair products, nude nylons, undergarments, skin color crayons, etc. This is a time where I'd love to be in a room with all of you to discuss these points in person so that you can see people's faces, hear their voice tones, and read their body language. But alas, this is an online course, and we'll have to make the most of it. There are so many things that have been in the news that I like to post. However, I'd be up around the clock reading and posting, as would you. If I feel that it's so crucial to cite, I'll post it in the Lennox Lounge, and I would encourage you to do the same. But I'm just not going to post something every time the media airs an unjust shooting, something that of any political candidate says, or something about the Confederate flag, etc. I think you get that, and you will appreciate it in the long run. While I want to make connections to the world around us with our coursework, I also want you to have a healthy balance. Please do not get me wrong. I lament every life that is taken, whether it be civilian and or police. I'm a political animal who tries to be very much aware of our current events. I just feel that I could overdo the posts, which greatly takes away from the history that we're studying. Again, it's a fine balance to self-care, historical study, and socio-political awareness. If you would like to post something to this end, please post your comment in the appropriate blog or wiki. If it's something related, you could always post it in the Linux Lounge. As for me, I'm very pleased with the work that we have all done in the first foundational module. Always know that even if you don't get exhaustive feedback on all your work, I read your work once through, reflect, then return to grade it. I hope you can sense that. Next week, we'll be firmly in the Western Hemisphere. I look forward to examining colonial Afro-American history with all of you. As always, if there's anything you need or anything that I can make to make your learning experience better, do not hesitate to let me know. Have a great rest of your week as we venture into our second module. I have noticed, though, before we end, that some practices I think need improvement. Make sure that you keep up on your typing, grammar etiquette, as people are slipping into texting mode, which really takes away from your contribution. In addition to posting your contribution to our discussions, make sure to add a follow-up question or commentary to your fellow classmates and or mine. This would be a lot easier if people would begin looking and posting their entries earlier than Monday evenings, which is right before our weekly coursework deadline. I know this as I can view when people last check into Blackboard and when they finally post their entry. I do not want to start mandating that people start commenting on the last person who posted, as I find this very demeaning and maternalistic. Therefore, if you believe any of these practices apply to you, please try changing your practices of checking into Blackboard and revising your posts and your entries. Procrastination in this instance can definitely negatively affect your participation and even your grade. Online classes, for this reason, among others, can be more difficult as you really have to manage your time to ensure your most beneficial learning experience. And as always, finally, if there's any loose ends that I need to tie up or any improvements that I can make, please let me know. Enjoy the rest of your week, and thank you.